Well, good morning, neighbors, and we are back from our brief commercial break from our good friends at Village on the Park. I have a great sponsor with us today. Always hard with his calendar to get him out, get him talking about his wonderful product at Simply Cool. Steve, welcome back. Glad to have you on the program.
Mike, it is great to be here. It is great to be here.
Well, I'll tell you, I feel like every time I call to get you on the books, it's like getting the President of the United States to get you here.
Well, exactly. And as you may know, I don't have my own Camp David or Kennebunkport.
No.
But I do have the Simply Cool workshop.
You do, and I'll tell you that lab coat and hat, when you put that on, that is over the top official.
It helps get the vibe going.
Exactly.
Imagine trying to work on body armor or something wearing a clown suit.
Well, speaking of body armor, you and I have been talking about, you've had some great products that you've been putting together. First of all, you started with simply the base foundation of a cooler, if you will, to go on to a lawnmower of all things. Then you kind of just started advancing from there about different ways that you could serve different markets. Here we are now today, this morning, talking about how you're doing with kind of the fire service and what you're doing there. Bring us up to speed. It's been a while since you've been on the show. So
Gladly, Michael. What we've got is, as you just said, we went from the cup holder for outdoor equipment, lawnmowers, whatever, side-by-sides, then it quickly evolved into barbecue grills, outdoor kitchen areas.
Right.
And then what happened, we had a law enforcement contact us and asked if we could apply our cooling process, patented cooling process, to their body armor.
Wow.
Being one never to step back from a challenge, I didn't say maybe, I said yes, it can be done. And right now, we have a level 1 in prototype, which is just the body armor that refrigerates. Refrigerates, self-contained, no tethering, no ice chest like you see the NASCAR guys carrying around.
Right.
It is totally self-contained. We realized quickly, though, we were going to be outclassed. So we come up with a level 2 and a level 3 that have up to 20 sensors. They have
20 sensors.
20, and the sensors are the size of a match head.
Okay.
They will track your blood pressure, your heart rate, O2, your resting rate, your altimeter, because not everybody lives in flatland.
No.
It has an overpressure sensor. As we all know, terrorism is getting
rampant.
And when officers or responders experience a explosion, a lot of times they have concussions and don't know it.
Okay.
And they won't know it until hours or days later. And what we've got in our vest is an overpressure sensor that will tell the receiving station, Officer Smith has just received too much pressure. He's probably got a concussion. And it live feeds that up to the base station. So when first responders arrive, they already know he's got a concussion probably. We know his heart rate is messed up. His blood pressure is dropping. It does a pre-triage on the victim before medical people arrive. That saves a lot of time, a lot of manpower. That is a force multiplier.
Now, I understand, Steve, that kind of different cities have been asking for this. I know you've had various law enforcement folks out to see this proto that you've been working on. What brought this to mind? I mean, what got you? I mean, here it was again. You started with simply a cup cooler.
A cooler.
Yeah.
What brought this to mind is it's still under wraps. It's not public yet.
Sure.
But we had a very prominent local law enforcement boss.
Okay.
Through mutual contacts, he realized that it does get hot in Arkansas in July and August.
Just slightly.
Just a little bit. And they got to talking, and the intermediary came to me and said, "Steve, can you put your cooling process in the vest for our special ops guys?"
Wow.
And we've got some good law enforcement here that care about their officers.
Unbelievable. Now, you've also been working with some other government agencies
Yes.
on various types of projects and things like that. And you recently went to, I should say recently, but back during the summer of last year, you kind of took a little time to go and visit and basically put your prototype out there to kind of show them what was going on. And you got some blessings, I understand, from these various agencies.
These guys are the big boys. There is no bigger boys than these. A little unbeknown government agency with the interesting story of space. A little company called DARPA.
Okay. Just a small company.
Just they invented the codes to make the internet work.
Right.
The F-117 stealth bomber, a couple other trivial things.
Small.
But anyway, you get a 15-minute visit with them.
Yes.
And then your time's up. I ended up with 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
And this was in Arlington, Virginia.
Okay.
Suburb, what I call an inner borough of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
We went in, we did the presentation. We did it on the 10th floor. We weren't on the ground floor where the snack bar is.
And the vending machine.
Right, and there's even armed security guards with dogs watching those. I mean, these are some serious folks. So we ended up...
Pet treats in there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's called an arm. But anyway, we ended up doing a 45-minute presentation and turned into 4 products. 45 minutes. 4 products they were interested in. They said, Steve, you're on the right track with this body armor. Go 2 more steps and come back. I went 8 more steps.
Leave it to you to go from the shallow end to the 12-foot end.
And the guy, the way they look at it, the way their mindset is look at it as if you have an unlimited budget and nothing is impossible. And that was a light bulb aha moment.
Wow.
When you realize nothing is impossible, you will try everything.
Right.
And that's how we ended up going 8 more steps. And
8 more steps. Wow.
then they made a recommendation for one of our products over to SpaceX. Elon Musk, SpaceX, they mentioned DIUX, a company, another one called IDX, which is the trade show, the military trade shows you see in the movies.
Before you know it, you'll have these things in Tesla cars.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of folks don't realize is back to DARPA, when you watch the movie Men in Black.
Yes.
That is one big satire of DARPA, especially Men in Black 2. The little satellite that lands at the beginning.
I may need to go back and revisit that.
That's the Russian Sputnik.
Okay.
They started DARPA. Because when the Russians got a satellite, we were behind. And then they're talking about the light of DARPA all through the movie.
Right.
If you've been to DARPA, you'll go, aha, I get it. It's a big inside joke. But we've actually, but we've progressed from a lot of to a lot of directions, a lot more professional products.
Okay.
From the beverage holder up to thermal control body armor with the option of, it is. Anyway, I thought I turned it.
That's all right, Steve. That's DARPA calling to determine that you may have stepped
actually,
out of the bounds there a little bit.
Hey, we won't even talk about what I posted one time. It got me a phone call. It got me a phone call from Delta Force.
Well,
We've worked with those guys.
I always say you never wait for the small operator to call you. It's always the big boys.
It was actually the guys at Special Ops Command in Madill Air Force, down in Florida.
Down in Florida?
And it was a Delta Force guy. He said, Steve, don't post that on Facebook.
I
said, well, it's been redacted. He goes, yeah, but we know what it is. You might delete that.
Take that off.
Yeah, it's always easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
I guess, but they probably sit there and think, wow, nothing unusual for us to call Steve and check in on him.
Yes, he's on speed dial. What did he do this time? Hey, they're great guys. They've got a sense of humor.
Well, I think they have to in that line.
You have to.
That's kind of a wound tight business, and especially
work hard, play hard.
It amazes me all the integral pieces that you end up putting together with these different products that you are manufacturing.
Well, even the box we have for local fire departments, long range rescue. They did a rescue in Hobbs State Park. By the time they got to the guy in the summer, the IV bags were hot. All the medicine was hot. We've got a self-contained box, backpack, if you will. It has solar. It has 110. It has car charger. It has a battery. So not only does it solar charge if you're out there longer than 5 hours,
right?
But you can power it with you can charge it with an iPhone battery.
An iPhone battery?
An iPhone charger. I'm sorry, iPhone charger.
Wow, unreal.
Because I've been there. I've been in those situations where there's no electricity.
Steve, I bet people, we're going to roll a clip here after you step away. It's a commercial that we put together of just kind of things we pulled from your Facebook page, which we figured were all public,
Yeah, those are public.
you know, type thing. But I really think it gives people an insight into everything that you've done or what you've been doing, and how you've worked to advance those various levels of just, again, back from the cup holder right on through to, you know, just kind of where your shop is at in one sense, and how out of that shop has come you know, the genius products that you have put together.
Well, thanks.
So,
If you look at Microsoft and all those guys, they started in their 2-car garage,
you know, some of them in a bathtub for that.
living room.
A living room.
You know, you see a lot of folks on Shark Tank start in their living room,
Exactly.
then move to the
And
garage.
then moved to the garage. And here you moved to the garage.
The
And,
wife wouldn't allow the living room.
well, that's where that race car motor is. That you
Yeah.
have is in the living room.
Yeah, we got it.
Steve, always a pleasure to have you,
You
on
bet,
the
Michael.
program.
You bet.
And
Great to
thank
be
you
here.
for being part of our program through sponsorship. And we just appreciate talking about the things that you're doing and
The cool stuff.
The cool stuff. And not only is it simply cool, it's really cool.
It's very cool.
It's very
28
cool.
degrees
28
in the middle of
degrees.
August.
There you go. You can't beat that.
Not
We know
with it.
where we'll be in the middle of August. We'll be right there
With a
just
cold
with
drink.
A cold drink. Steve, here in just a few minutes, Carrie Perrin Smith's going to be up talking about our good friend and mayor over in Cave Springs, Mr. Randy Randall Noblet, and he's going to be talking about the kind of the different things that he's been doing over in Cave Springs since he got in office. So, folks, thanks once again.